My goodness. That felt very much like a millennial pause, just getting started here. I wanted to make sure it was rolling. Okay. Hey, what's up, you guys? This feels crazy to be back. So if you've missed it, which I feel like if you're here, you probably haven't missed it. If you're rewatching this later, maybe. I've been in Italy for the last 3 months, and I thought that I would maintain some kind of presence on my YouTube channel, and it's honestly just been impossible, or too many forces acting against me that has kept me from being able to actually, post anything these last few months. So if you're not aware, I was in Italy, I was volunteering. I was actually on a U.S. military base, and it was a really great experience. I'm super glad that I did it. But at the end of the day, I was very exhausted. And the biggest issue was honestly that I didn't have, oh my gosh! Let me put my microphone on so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Maybe I need to start over. Wow. I'm not sure what was picked up by that mic, but clearly I'm out of practice. It's been a while. So what I was saying is I've been volunteering for the last 3 months in Italy on a U.S. military base. The experience was really great. I'm so glad to have done it. But where I was staying, the internet was atrocious. It was really bad. So I knew from the get-go that I wasn't going to be able to do any live streaming. I couldn't even do a 5-minute video call with family back home. That's how bad the internet was. And so live streams were out of the question. Also, uploading long-form content was out of the question. So I would have liked to have tried to do some short-form content while I was gone, but unfortunately that was also not in the cards for me, and that was largely just because I was exhausted by the end of each day, and I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the capacity to be able to create a bunch of short-form videos and edit all of those. I had maybe 15 good minutes in me every day. So anyway, that's how we got to here, where it's been 3 months of silence on my YouTube channel, and honestly, I was so exhausted that I did the absolute bare minimum to keep my business afloat. So if you were on Patreon, I made sure you got your stickers. And then I kind of failed with my newsletter. I managed to get 2 of the 3 out. I think I eventually got 3, but I think one of them I had put off for quite a while. So it was a challenge, staying on top of things, I will say. But we're here, and I'm excited. Thank you for tuning in, and we're gonna get started. I also have not done a sticker release video, so I'm gonna quickly go through what this month's stickers look like, and then we'll jump into the actual planning portion of the video. So let's take a look. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the beginning. The theme for this month, maybe I'll go through this really quickly because some of you watching may have missed this. I don't think I did sticker release anything for the last 3 months. My goodness. So I guess I'll quickly share with you guys the things I worked on, even though I wasn't posting online. So in April, the theme was, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but there was something relating to bicycles and florals. And I actually really loved this. I reused a lot of the floral elements from the past because I think these floral elements are really pretty, and there's no point in redesigning them if I'm already so happy with them. So I like the variety here. I really like the way that they look together, and yeah, I personally just really liked it. So I wanted a spring vibe. So we have this cute little bicycle with the basket of flowers on it. We have some bees and worms and dragonflies, butterflies. This is probably one of my favorite sets, and I hardly got to use it because of my schedule. So I just didn't have anything to do. I just got up, volunteered for 8 hours each day, and then went home exhausted and was basically like a zombie trying to do any kind of work. And would maybe, like I said, get 15 minutes of work done. So it was pretty difficult. But designing the bikes was fun and also a little bit of a challenge for me. So I've enjoyed doing these kind of sticker sets that do challenge my artistic abilities because I don't feel like I'm super great at art, but I know I'm improving all the time, and I owe so much of that to doing these stickers every month. So yeah, thank you all for that and the motivation. But we had some stamps and some eggs and some little coquette bows. I feel like that trend has to be on its way out, right? But I still see bows everywhere, so who knows how long it'll stick around for. And then just these cute, bunches of flowers and stuff. I thought these were adorable. So that, of course, comes in 3 color palettes. So this is the second color palette that was voted on. And I guess I didn't share, this is what I did for the washi tape. So I kept it pretty simple, kind of Easter-esque, and then the bikes. So those were fun. And, oh yeah, you can't really see, you're probably wondering what that big gap was in the corner of each of these. Just like a little buzz trail. And then we have May. So for May, I actually really enjoyed these. These were our like groovy hippie vibes, and I personally really love the retro look. I love the lava lamp because lava lamps are so much fun. And then just like mushrooms and cassette tapes and tie-dye and sunglasses and smiley faces and the Volkswagen van and I don't know, all this stuff. Music, it's kind of like hippie flower child music festival kind of vibes, and that's kind of my personality. So I really enjoyed making these. I enjoyed getting to use these. And yeah, just some other little decorative elements here. And I threw in a disco ball just because, I don't know, they're fun and music related and trendy right now. So I thought people might like that. But clearly it's a little bit of a different era than the rest. And here's the second color palette of that. Oh yeah, and here's the washi tape. Very fun. All right, and then the third color palette. This one was much softer, but very pretty. I liked this one. And now on to this month so that we can actually get started on our planning. So, as you guys know, the first and second page are generally the same. The only thing that really changes is the washi tape, unless I decide to add something else to it. So this is the first color palette, and I actually really like it. I was a little nervous about it because it didn't really work with the designs necessarily, but I kind of think it pulled through in the end. I like it. So for our washi tape, we have some stripes, we have some seashells, and then we have this fruit. The theme is this Italian coastal vibe. I enjoy it a lot. I was obviously inspired by my time in Italy, and it was one of the options I gave to my Patreon patrons, and they voted on it, and it worked. There was a tie, which also included like summer cocktails and something else, and so maybe pride as well. So I just tried to kind of combine everything. The pride thing, I feel like has to be like a whole theme. So basically what I ended up doing was just throwing in some pride stickers there. And so that's what I did. So you can see that here. We've got some random rainbow themed things. So happy pride. We've got, a bathing suit, umbrella, and this surfboard. And then for the coastal vibes, for the Italy vibes, we've got this cute bathing suit in the different colors. We've got, my favorite are the cocktails or mocktails, if you're sober, if you're a non-alcoholic beverage person. These could be just adorable, like summer mocktails. Because who doesn't want a pretty drink? Pretty drinks are the best. So it could just be a pretty drink. We've got a beach ball. We've got some things that had been used in the past. So like last summer I used the SPF 30 here, sunblock. In my sticker course, I did the seashells. We've got fruits, which I've used in the past, but I updated them a little bit. So they've got a little more definition, a little bit more fun. We've got like the slice. We've got, or the wedge, that's the word I'm looking for. We took previous lemons and then we made them with these cute little branches on them. Which reminds me, I did a physical painting. I never do this. And I did this at a sip and paint because I wasn't crazy about the theme of what was being taught. And I was like, well, I'm going to do my own thing, which was a major risk for me because I never paint. And personally, I really like it. I wanted it to be like a souvenir from my time in Italy, which is why it says limoncello. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cute. And I had a few people there who were like, can I buy that from you? And I was this close because I didn't know if it would even fit in my in my suitcase because I travel carry-on only because I'm crazy. I'm a special type of person and I take my travel very seriously. So I'm always living the carry-on life and it just fit in. Like it's literally, that's like the size of my suitcase. So loved that for me that I was able to take it home and I didn't have to sell it. But it also felt really good that people were like, oh, that's super cute. I want to own that. So that kind of boosted my confidence a little bit. And because I'm always so used to working in digital, this was like a real treat for me. So maybe I'll have to get into physical painting sometime. Anywho, there's some cute little flowers just for some decorative elements. And then we've got an olive. I don't know if I'll use this, but I wanted the option. Maybe I'll stick it on like a little toothpick and stick it in one of the drinks or something. I don't know. Just, I wanted options. And then I put a blueberry because I like blueberries and we were going with like a fruity, I don't know. There's not like a whole lot of logic to that one. I thought it could be fun. So we'll see if I end up using it, if I get creative. And then we of course have gelato. So, you know, in the past it was ice cream, but because this is Italy, it's gelato. And then I've got these cute starfishes, which I'm super excited about because I taught a starfish shape in my sticker making course. And I've learned so much more. I'm constantly learning an affinity designer. And I just really like what I've learned and what I've been able to do. Because the other one I just hand drew because that's what I do with a lot of my stuff. But this, I used the tools and I learned how to adjust the shapes and I just got more creative with this one and added, I just really like it. I think it's cute. I don't know. Anyway, we've got our sunglasses. Those have been reused and just updated a little bit. And we've got some birds. Those are also from May of last year. And I felt like they were perfect for that sort of outdoor beachy vibe. And then we've got a little bit of scenery here. So that is everything. And oh yeah, all of these are separate tiles. So you can use them together, you can arrange them yourself. But yeah, each of these is a separate design, right? So totally up to you how you want to use them. But I think they're very cute and I hope you guys enjoy them. Okay, so moving on. The next two color palettes. So same stickers, right? Same washi tape as always. And this is what it looks like in this color palette. And then the last one is this one. And this is actually the color palette that I designed everything in. So, I don't know. I am surprised. I was honestly surprised that it got picked as one of the top color choices because it wasn't my personal favorite, but I had already designed it in this from the get-go, so the fact that, I don't know, it was just a little bit less work. I had less color adjusting I had to do because it was already in this color palette, so that was, I guess, an added bonus, but it wouldn't have been my first choice. It feels too July for me, you know what I mean? So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. So I think this is the color palette that I'm going to go with today because I use my monthly a lot less. I look at it a lot less. So typically I'll use my least favorite option. That sounds bad, but sometimes I love all three color palettes like a lot. Sometimes I have very clear favorites. So usually the one that's not my clear favorite is the one that I'll use for the monthly. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so starting off, I'm going to come in with one of my elements from a previous month. So I actually just had it saved there, but it's one of my go-to elements, and I'm just going to line this up because that makes my life a lot easier. And I'm going to start my priorities and my sprints over because, well, I've not really been using my planner until I've gotten home, and now I'm using it like every day again. But because I was busy and tired and, you know, just not using my planner, I don't know where the sprints fall. So we're just going to, we're going to start over. But I do need a background color element so that I can take away these extra stripes here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come back into my 2025 go-to elements, and I'm going to take this one that's the same color as the background, and I'm just going to put this here. And then I'm going to tap on these 3 dots, and I'm going to move it back. They recently updated this and changed things, so I have to relearn some of the locations of the menu. I feel like they just did it in the last couple days, or mine just updated in the last couple days because it's driving me crazy. Okay, I also need to add that element one more time to cover up June here. So let's do that. And let's see. I think right now I'm just going to kind of figure out where else I want to add this. So I am going to duplicate this. See, they moved the duplicate, so you have to tap the 3 dots. It's so frustrating. I wish I used the duplicate feature enough that I wish that it was back to where it was before, where it was a little more readily available. But alas, here we are. If you ever notice, some of you may not notice this, and even when I'm zooming in, it's still hard to see. But for me, this is like a frustrating little detail. Because we're dealing with like PNGs, you end up with a little pixelation. And so that's why you can kind of see this like white edge here. It's not perfect. So what I'm going to do, even if you cropped it off and then saved the element, this still happens. So what I'm going to do is just tap on this with the image tool and tap crop. And I'm just going to crop it in, and we're just going to resize this. And look at that. It's gone now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I can tell. That little just line where it was like whiter really, really annoys me. So I'm glad that it's an easy fix. So if it also annoys you, if you're just like me, just crop it. Just crop it again. It'll give it a nice crisp edge. Okay, and let's see, like, I don't notice it as much, I think because this piece is smaller, but when I had stretched it to that scale, you could see it, and it would just irritate me. So anywho, let's go ahead, and I want to let's add in the scenery here. So I'm going to grab this one, and we're just going to copy it, bring it back, and we're going to paste it. And I know this is a little bit wider than I want it to be. So I'm going to crop this. I'm just going to bring these edges in to elongate it somewhat. And I'm hoping this will be okay. We're going to find out. I also want to take, I think I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to do these because they're kind of similar in color. Like, it's not too drastic of a change, if that makes sense. The gradient's a little more natural. It's more of an ombre as opposed to a full-on gradient, which I learned the difference of in like a video. Some of you may remember this. It was a long time ago. But I looked up the difference between ombre and gradient. Where like gradient can be any color to any color, but ombre means that it's like color changing within the same family. So changing from a blue to a different shade of blue is an ombre effect. They're all gradients, but a gradient is not limited to the same color family. So just a little fun bit of information for you, in case you were wondering. So I'm going to go with an ombre instead of a gradient here. Even though they're all gradient, let me just be clear. All ombres are gradients, but not all gradients are ombre. I'm sorry. I'm obnoxious. All right, so I'm going to spread this out. It doesn't necessarily have to go over the whole page. I want it to be, I don't know, a little asymmetrical. I'm going to bring this forward, so bring it to the front, and then we're going to grab, okay, what color? It's either going to be like the white in this circumstance or the red. I'm not sure. I'm going to grab both. Copy both of these. And we're going to paste. And okay. That's a good size. Ooh. I think even a little bigger actually will work. That's perfect. What do I want? Okay, I think, oof. I think we're gonna go with this one. I like the contrast more, I guess. Though it depends on which part you're talking about. But I don't know, I like this color better. Okay. Sometimes I look over there because that's where my live streaming screen is. The next thing I want to do is add in some washi tape on top of that. So I think we're going to do this. We're going to take this yellow color, white, it's functioning as a white in this palette, but it's also functioning as a yellow. It's just our light color. Sorry if you could hear me scratch my neck. I put this arnica cream on it. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I didn't know what it was till I was in Italy. And I've been having some back and neck and shoulder pain. I'm falling apart. I gotta say, like, working with children has, like, little children, having to pick them up constantly all day, every day, has really shined a light on how old I'm getting. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling my age for sure. So anyway, the cream is like hot and tingly, so I'm kind of like, I don't know, I feel the urge to touch it. Okay, I think I'm going to select all of these. So handwriting is turned on, so I'm going to select all of this handwriting here, and I think I'm going to change all of it to the same color. So let's do, I'm just going to do custom and use the eyedropper tool. And I'm just going to pick up the blue just from the top of this. That's good. That'll work for me. And what I want to do with this space over here, I don't know. I'm going to put a note section. And I think something I want to work on this month, I'm going to try my best, is I want to try to improve my money mindset. I don't want to, like, go into a whole therapy session right here, but I'm going to crop this. But I've been trying for years to kind of unpack some of my money trauma, if you will. Just things that are clearly, like, learned from my life, my upbringing, all kinds of stuff. Again, we don't need to dive super deep into the reasons, but just knowing that just having that awareness that I 100% operate from a scarcity mindset, that I want to work on that because it definitely, I don't know, it definitely plays a role in a lot of things in my life. And I feel like when you have a scarcity mindset around money, it can lead to a lot of, I don't know, just stress in other areas of your life. Like, it dictates how I approach feeding myself, and it dictates how I enjoy things in life, and how many things that I won't do unless they're free. And I'm incredibly frugal, and yet I still feel like I'm poor all the time. And I don't know, just something that I'm working on. And so I think maybe what I'll do with this space is either make some notes for myself that are reminders, or maybe just put in some affirmations, or I don't know, just I need to do something. I haven't quite figured it out, but I do want the purpose of that space to really be dedicated to just to helping myself look at things a little bit differently. Maybe try to operate a little bit differently. It really is interesting. I travel a lot, and I know there's a lot of people who think that traveling, oh, hi Erin, welcome. There's a lot of people that see people who travel and think that that is something that goes with wealth. And that is something I always perceived my entire life. I didn't know anybody who traveled, especially not internationally, unless they were well off. So for me, it always seemed like a pipe dream. And I lived abroad. And when I was doing that, I learned how important it was to me, and how I didn't want to let go of it. But I was also terrified that when I left China, which, I taught there for 3 years, and I was making good money, and I had a good living situation, and I was very comfortable, and I saved so much money, and I paid off so much debt, and it was just such a freeing, very liberating experience, despite the fact that living in China is not necessarily a liberating experience. But just to have, financial control, and be able to take holidays and travel and do what I wanted when I wanted, because I didn't feel so restricted. And I don't know, I just feel like for me, traveling then taught me that it was something that I wanted to make sure I kept in my life. But at the time, I was doing so financially well that the financial part of traveling was not a concern. And even after I left, I had enough of a savings that I still was able to travel how I wanted, even if I wasn't making the same money that I was making when I was there. And so, fast forward, how many years has it been since I left China? 7 years? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I left 7 years ago, and I am no longer in a state of financial comfort at all. And yet I still prioritize traveling more than anything in the world. But it's because I have learned ways to make it totally free. So my whole point is that I operate from a scarcity mindset 100% when it comes to money, but I no longer operate that way about travel. I know that no matter what I do in life, travel opportunities that are free or essentially free will come to me, or opportunities that pay me to travel will come to me. And I feel like that is a huge reason why I travel as much as I do. So I'm trying to figure out a way to adopt that mindset around money, because I feel like I'm constantly stressing out about finances, and always operating from this scarcity mindset. And there's never enough income. No matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, I always feel like I'm drowning. And I don't spend a lot. Like I said, all my travel is free. Arguably, I spend less money when I travel than I do when I'm at home. because my groceries are cheaper and my accommodation is free and my transportation is free. So I don't know. I mean, I just feel like if I can try to channel some of that energy so that I don't feel like I'm always constantly drowning financially, then like maybe, I don't know. That's one of my goals this month is I know it'll take longer than a month, but it's something I want to try to do is just figure out how to shift some of that skill that I have that has kept travel abundant in my life despite not having the finances to travel as one would traditionally assume. And, I've still made it work. So, yeah, I want to see if I could kind of manipulate that sort of thing in my life financially. But yes, Erin, it is definitely important to know what you need to fill your soul. And I think that is one of the reasons why I prioritize travel so much, because I know how important it is for me. And it is definitely the thing that fills my soul. It's the thing that, fills my cup or allows me to really do anything that I do. Because every time I come home, I feel extremely depressed, but then I have to remember, like, all of the other great things that do fuel me, even when this stuff even when coming home takes away from that. So that is my fuel for sure. I think I'm going to use this washi tape as a background here. We're going to see how that goes. Oh no! Yeah, Erin, I feel you. Bills are stressful. Everything seems to be more and more expensive every day. This is not helping my scarcity mindset, but like, I don't know. I went grocery shopping today and I just wanted to keep it as minimal as possible. And I'm still just like shocked at how much things cost. So, okay. And also coming from Italy, like groceries are way cheaper. Like what I got today would have fed me for at least a week, if not more, in Italy. And the food would have been better quality. So it's hard, especially with just everything going on. So tough. I've complained about this before. I don't like the new photo camera feature. I love that, Erin. Music is the best, first of all. Let's just say that. And I 100% agree. And I think that the fact that you prioritize doing like one concert a year is huge. Because I think, for me personally, like, I just love live entertainment. So I don't care so much whether it's music. I mean, I do love music. But I'm satisfied seeing comedians or improv or I will say ballet doesn't get me so much. I like a good orchestra. I would prefer like a concert over an orchestra. But I love musical theater. So like that is something that makes me very happy as well. But I love live entertainment. I think that's one of the things, like, if I were never to travel ever again, I would focus most of my time on trying to attend as many live events. And I really like small ones too. I love supporting like local bands or local improv groups or things like that. I don't know, that stuff makes me so happy. And so I think that's what I would do a lot more of if I didn't travel as much as I do. Because travel is the thing that I focus on most. But I think that's really good that you know that that's a thing that you need in your life to fuel you, fill your cup, make you happy. And I also think that music is such a great way to do that. It's been weird for me because I've always been so into music, and lately I feel like I get so like focused on, oh, I don't know. What is that? You see that weird glitch? What is that doing? That's okay. That's funny. I've been so focused lately on like podcasts. This has been a thing really since like 2017. I got really into podcasts in 2017, and it cuts into my music time. And also, like, when I was living in China and I was commuting, I wasn't in my car every day because I was commuting on public transportation. And for me, like, I love to sing so much. And the beautiful thing about driving in your car is you can just belt your heart out. And I don't really care if people see me or if they can hear me through my closed windows. It doesn't matter. But I can't do that. Or at least I don't feel comfortable doing that like on a subway. So it was easier for me to transition away from listening to music all the time and into like audiobooks and podcasts because I was commuting so publicly. And unfortunately, though, that has meant I've had a harder time transitioning back to music. Like, I do listen to music, but not nearly as much as I would like to. Because I'm kind of like, now I have so many podcasts that I want to stay up to date on, and it cuts into my music time. I won't lie. I also never liked audiobooks. I was a weirdo that thought like listening to audiobooks doesn't count. But like yes, I think it's great to pick up a book and actually read. I think it's important to do that. But at the same time, if you're in it for like consuming information, like I consume a lot of nonfiction, then who cares if I'm reading it myself or if I'm listening to it, you know? And then I could like read actual books leisurely that are fiction, you know, something fun. At least that's what I've been telling myself lately. Just real quick, you can probably see what I'm doing, but I've been taking this white that matches the background and just kind of, I guess, coloring this in here all around the edges and just kind of creating a little outline. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It'll do. Just to make it so that the date is very visible. And then I'm just layering this and bringing it to the front. I occasionally listen to fiction if I'm doing like a long road trip or something. But most of the time, I listen to nonfiction. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to take... I guess I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to move it over just a little bit because I want the June to be a little more centered. And then I'm going to grab these and move these back over. Maybe just a hair this way. Oh yeah, so yeah, I was just outlining this so that the June is a little more visible. And that's pretty perfect to me. I think that looks cute. I haven't done this trick in a little while, but personally I like it. I think it's cute. I hope you guys like it too. Okay. I like having a space to plan stuff for next month, but right now I'm overwhelmed enough as it is. I'm going to focus on this month, and I'm just going to make this decorative. So I'm going to grab this rainbow hat, and I'm going to hit paste here, and I'm going to cover up where it says next month. And then I'm going to come back and grab Happy Pride. I'm going to copy this and paste it. And I'm going to keep it in the box. Part of me was thinking maybe I would take one of the background colored elements, which I can try it just to show you guys, but maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. We're going to duplicate this. And I'm going to send it to the back. I don't like that they changed it. Okay. And then, yeah, I'm just going to put this like here. Oops. And move it over. And, whoops. Okay, so I need to just select handwriting only here and actually send the handwriting to the back. And let's make this a little bit bigger. I don't know, maybe I will keep it like that. Leave it to me to eat my words. I think I think that looks better. I'm gonna do it that way. Again, just looking over there at the screen, because then I get, somehow it's like getting a bird's eye view of something, where like it just, the shift in perspective as opposed to like looking down at my iPad compared to like seeing it on the screen, it just helps me see things a little better. Okay, so up next, what are we gonna do? I want to, let me just see. I just want to see if I like this bigger or not. Do I? Maybe. I think I do. Let's put a little paper clip on here. Paper clips are on this page. Just gonna use a regular paper clip and let's go with the red one. Ah! Don't delete it. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna use this one. And we're gonna paste, rotate, size it up. I really love being able to size these up like quite a lot. It's one of my favorite things about the way that I design my stickers, because when I used to design in Procreate, like the pixelation drove me crazy and then the file sizes were so large. So being able to use it like this and have it size up and down and like never really lose quality, you have to make it pretty big in order to see the pixelation. I don't know, it makes me very happy that I was able to achieve that. And anyway, we're gonna freehand crop this, and I'm just going to start inside of the paper clip and I'm gonna come all the way around the outside. And what I want to do is I want this to snap and be like a perfectly straight crop to the edge here. So I'll zoom in once I've finished this, but I want it to be straight so that it looks like it goes behind it. So I just crop off just that little edge, just that tiny little bit. And there we go. We have a paper clip that looks like it's actually going behind the paper. And do I want to move it over though? Do I want it on the edge there, or do I want it like in the middle? I think in the middle. I usually don't like things centered, but I'm just feeling it this time. Plus, I don't know, I think it'll make it easier to write in this space. Okay, I'm gonna add in the dates, and then everything else will just kind of be like decorative. Yes, Erin, Affinity for the win. I love Affinity Designer, and I still use Procreate from time to time. It's my favorite when I want to like relax while I'm drawing. But if I ever want to make something that I'm gonna sell or that I'm gonna give away for free, if I want to produce something that's high quality, I know, yes, you can do that in Procreate, 100%. And I still might, depending on the project, but like 9 times out of 10, I've gotten to the point where I will use Procreate or Affinity Designer for just about everything. And I love that because I can use it for helping to make custom fonts, and I can use it for helping I can use it for my digital sticker making process. I can use it for creating my planners and notebook covers and just all kinds of things. And like the quality is perfect. And I use it for a lot of my commission work because it's vector. So it's high quality. It's so good. I love it. I do sometimes miss working in Procreate, and I used to be on Procreate every single day. And because I'm not anymore, I feel it. Like every time I take out Procreate to do a fun Instagram challenge or a little doodle or something, I can very much tell that like my hand is not used to the brushes anymore because I spend so much time working in vectors and adjusting nodes. And yeah, like it's very, like you learn, it's muscle memory in some ways. And it has absolutely shifted what I feel like is like the quality of my Procreate art. And also I feel like I was on Procreate like every day when I first got onto my iPad. And I feel like my art skills grew so much during that time period because I was using it every single day. And now sometimes I look back and I'm like, oh, my Procreate art today is way worse than like what it got to after a full year of using Procreate every day. Because I feel like I've just forgotten. I don't know. That's probably not entirely true. But I just had so many tools that I use so regularly where now I have to like really think, oh, like how do I want to approach this? What do I want to do? So, yeah. Okay, I think we're going to use... I'm going to throw away these ones because the white on the yellow is like harder to see. And I want, for my middle sprint, I think my middle sprint will be in the dark blue. Just because I don't want it near the edges. I think it'll be too much blue. So these 2 weeks will be here. So that's the 1st through the 14th. So just move that up and get rid of these. And then the 15th through the 28th. Oh no, okay, wait, I'm gonna change my mind. Just because there's only like 2 days, the 29th and the 30th in this blue. Wow, that feels crazy because the month starts on a Sunday and it's only a 30-day month. It's basically only 2 sprints. Wild. Okay, the 15th, what did I say? The 15th through the 28th. So we've got these ones and these ones, and the rest can go away. Well, Erin, if you ever want to chat about Affinity, I am always here. I am very pro getting into Affinity. Personally, I love it. And I also feel like there's just not enough people out there that talk about it. Like I know a couple artists that I learned Affinity from, and that's because I have a Skillshare membership and I love Skillshare. And so I've been able to learn that way. The few videos I've seen online, there's like a few more now, but when I was learning, the few ones that I did see online were for the desktop version. And I mean, they're similar enough that I've still been able to learn plenty of tricks from watching those people too. But it's a lot harder to find what you're looking for. And I also learned Adobe Illustrator. I learned Illustrator before I learned, well, I should be careful what I say. I learned how to make digital patterns and how to make fonts in Adobe Illustrator. That was how I learned Adobe Illustrator. So it left me very limited in my knowledge of Illustrator and working in vectors. But having that base knowledge meant that once I did start learning Affinity Designer, I picked it up pretty quickly and I fell in love with it because it's so Apple Pencil friendly. And that was kind of like, that was the real game changer for me. And then I was super confident in Affinity Designer. And then I took Bonnie Christine's immersion course and learned more in-depth pattern making. And that was also in Illustrator. And I think I was able to then pick up on way more than I even did the first time I learned about pattern making in Illustrator, because of, like, I didn't feel like a beginner anymore. I felt like I knew so much and had such a solid base knowledge that it was really just learning a new interface and or getting more familiar with the interface that I knew a little bit about. And so that was really good. And so I do like Illustrator, but honestly, the accessibility of Affinity Designer is just unbeatable. And the way that it works on the iPad is just so seamless, where like Illustrator on the iPad is so bad. I wish it was better. And I've taken classes on that so that I could learn how to make it less of a pain. But no matter what, I just feel like it's so counterintuitive, and I don't know, it just doesn't hold a candle to Affinity. Affinity is wonderful. The Facebook groups for Affinity are not friendly. I want to know so much more about that. Like, the people aren't friendly, or the content's not like beginner friendly, or like people, what, like, I want to know what you mean. Is they're not friendly? What is it? I've never been a part of an online art community that wasn't friendly. Like, that has been one of the things I found most beautiful about the artistic side of social media. I feel like everyone has been so, like, nobody, I feel like there aren't very many gatekeepers. I feel like everyone's really open and accepting and supportive. I don't know, maybe I just haven't found my way to the the people who aren't like that. But I personally have been so, like, blown away by the art side of social media. And I don't know, I just feel like I love it. I really feel like I'm babbling now and not actually doing so much planning. Let's use, what do I want to use for my priorities for my sprints? I think we're going to go with the seashells. Womp womp. But yeah, I feel like I've had this conversation with several people who have approached me about learning Affinity Designer. And really, like, the big thing that they've said is that they don't find a lot of people teaching Affinity online. And I get that. Like, I feel like there aren't nearly as many people teaching it. Same with Adobe Fresco. Like, I also really love Adobe Fresco, but I feel like, I don't know, there's, as great of an app as it is, people just aren't, they're just not teaching it. And I do want to be somebody who teaches Affinity Designer because I'm very passionate about it. I already have a course about it, and I would love to help more people learn how to create and, like, feel empowered to tackle vectors, because, like, vectors are scary. But they don't have to be. Okay, that's beautiful. So I am going to see, these are the times that I feel like having a better duplicate feature would be so nice. Let's duplicate these. Oh, that brought it back. What did I do differently there? Is it because, it's because, no. Interesting. Only when you've selected multiple objects does it let you do that. Why? Why is that is that just did they just forget when they did their when they did their update? They forgot to do it based on the times when you've selected multiple objects. They didn't program it properly. Is that something they're going to figure out later and then fix it, or was that intentional? I am so curious. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, I think Erin, you're right. Like anytime you're learning anything new, it can be hard and easy to give up. And I think because of the fact that there aren't a lot of people out there that are teaching Affinity Designer, and if the few groups that there are like you said, unfriendly, then you know, that makes it even easier to quit. And that's really a bummer. So maybe I can shed some light on that. Like I said, I would really love to do that and help people be more confident in Affinity Designer. So maybe that'll be my space on the internet. I don't know. But it has been quite nice to hear from people who have found me recently and said, you know, that they're excited to be able to talk to somebody who actually kind of teaches Affinity Designer. So, oh no. Okay, this is not straight. Let me straighten these up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue color. I'm just going to draw a straight line. And I am just going to move all of these over. So let me just move this here so I've got some room. And we're just going to use this as a guide. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it needs to be, you know, reasonably perfect. I just wish videos didn't take so long to edit, because like I don't feel like I have the time in my life. I want to share so much, and then I just end up being so stressed out about time. It's a problem. But I do also just believe that we currently live in a time where time scarcity is a legitimate thing. And also perceived time scarcity is probably bigger than ever before. And also losing your day to things like the internet is also very common. Oh, this is going to be harder because I'm moving it over and I don't have a visual reference now for from left to right. Oh. Okay, let's see how that holds up. Yay! Okay, looks pretty good. We can delete this now. All right, so the big stuff is done. Yes, the doom scrolling. That's really the that's the kicker. That'll get you. Okay, so realistically, I don't know if I'll do my sprints here. If I do my planning for next month, I will definitely do my sprints. Actually, I will do that sprint because usually the end of the month is like crazy stressful for me, especially the 29th and the 30th. So I'll probably have plenty of tasks to work on there. So it'll be fine to leave it. Maybe it won't be totally full. It'll probably say like newsletter and Etsy listings, live stream, maybe. But still, it'll fill up. It always does. Okay, let's see. I'm going to delete this, and now we're just going to do some cute little decorations. Like, I could call this done. I definitely could. But I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe do some fruit or the cocktails. We'll just bring them all over. You know what? I don't know. Let's do, okay, I'm just gonna grab, I'm grabbing too much here, but it's okay. It's totally fine. So we're just gonna copy all this and we're going to paste it. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get rid of, I guess I can leave the seashells. Okay, we're just gonna, I don't know. We're gonna see what works. I'm gonna start moving stuff around. I don't think I want to use that. I'm just gonna, you know, give it more of that beachy vibe. Do I want to put a cocktail here? I don't know. The cocktails I think are so cute, or the non-alcoholic beverages, if that's your thing. I think they're cute. I could put these around randomly. Undecided. Gonna get rid of the blueberry and the olive. Hello. Go away. Erin, I relate so much to that message. That's such a huge thing for me too. I typically don't use my planner when I'm feeling insanely overwhelmed, which is the time that I probably need to use it the most. Actually, I know that's when I need to use it the most, but I just get so, like, I don't know, overwhelmed. I just get overwhelmed. And it's clearly the time that my mental health is at its worst. And that's a real bummer. Yeah, so I can always look back and I'm like, okay, well, it's either one of two things. Like I said, like the last 3 months I've been in Italy, and yes, I've been overwhelmed in a certain way. Not really the same way that I usually am if I stop using my planner. But my schedule was so set. Like, that's the other thing. If I'm usually at home, if I'm overwhelmed, generally speaking, I am doing, I don't know. I'm having a hard time thinking right now. Okay, if I'm at home, let me start my thought again. If I'm at home and I am feeling overwhelmed, I'm probably also overwhelmed financially, which means I'm spending every day and every night door dashing and then finding the smallest amount of free time to work on my business and try to follow my dreams and do things that make me happy. And in those cases, like, I probably should be using my planner to make sure that I'm getting the things done that truly are a priority for me. But usually, that's not what happens. And I just end up feeling like I'm drowning. And it's not good. All right, some of these I think I'm going to want to duplicate. I don't know if I finished the thought that I was trying to finish, but here we are. Oh yeah, these little flowers are here. I think I'm gonna try to decorate this. No, not that. this here. So when I was in Italy, a couple weeks before I left, I was driving back from Florence and Pisa. I'll probably save the whole story maybe for the next live stream because it's kind of a long story, and I'll see if I'm able to do it. But I did actually record some plan with me's for May, and needless to say, nothing got done with them. But I was trying to share this story, this crazy story of my drive back from Florence and Pisa and how I got a nail in my tire. Spoiler alert. I was driving a rental vehicle, and it was very chaotic and super stressful. Why am I... See, I can't. The point of all that was I was having a really hard time trying to talk and tell a story while also doing my plan with me video. I don't know why it's so hard. It's very hard to focus on two things at once. I keep thinking that I'm seeing the chat move, but it's not. So, okay, those are fine. They're okay. They're not as cute as I thought they would be, but they're all right. Do I want to add anything anywhere else? The only place that I'm not super happy with is I kind of feel like this is a little bland. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take this. No. And I'll just extend this a little wider. And then I'll take the 1, 2, and 3 from here. And I'm going to copy these and paste them. Maybe it'll help. 'Cause I just feel like it needs a little help. 1, 2, 3. I'm also going to crop this. You can see, I don't know why. I just don't know why it does that. I'm going to crop this down, clean up those edges there, and then stretch this out again. A little more. It helped a little bit. How is driving in Italy? That is such a great question. I was fine, surprisingly. I did not hate it. Some people drive a little crazy, but I do feel like it was no worse than driving in Texas. And it was better than driving in Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. So, I mean, there's that. I did a little research on like road signs and things before I went just to make sure that I understood everything. I don't think it was that bad. You drive on the same side of the road as you do here. And I once drove a camper van for 2 weeks around New Zealand where they drive on the outside of the road and it's a camper van, so it's already awkward. And it was like up and down these mountainous areas, and that was okay, but that was like way harder than trying to drive in Italy. I will say though that you have to figure out the rhythm and like just like the cadence of how they drive, kind of, because there's a lot more roundabouts than what we're used to in the United States, and you're also like, you're not supposed to stop. And a lot of people do. I'm pretty sure that those people are not Italians. I'm pretty sure the people that are stopping are people who are tourists, or because I was staying in an area where there was a U.S. military base, it's very possible that many of them were Americans. There was a lot of English speakers in that area because of the fact that there was a base there. So yeah, I've never actually I technically have driven in New Jersey, but I was 18 And I don't know if it was me who drove or if it was one of my friends. Basically, when I was 18, I did a trip to New York City, and we drove from Ohio, and it was me and two of my friends, and we took turns driving. I feel like I was the one driving in, I might not have been, but I feel like I was the one driving in New Jersey, because I remember getting gas and not being able to pump our own gas. That was like a new thing. But also that whole trip was a little bit overwhelming, because I had only been driving for 2 years of my life, and I know I did not drive in New York because I didn't want to drive in New York. I was afraid of city driving, like suburban, rural raised. And so the idea of driving in New York City seemed terrifying to me. But yeah, I do think on the whole, driving in Italy really wasn't nearly as bad as I expected it to be. That being said, I was in like a supervisory role when I was volunteering in Italy the last 3 months. And when the new supervisor came, she was very stressed out trying to drive in Italy. And so, I don't know, maybe I just like driving too. Maybe that's part of it. I love driving. So part of me feels like maybe that's why. But I've also spent a lot of time in cars as passengers of like friends in Europe. So that could be it too. I don't know. Some combination. It didn't seem bad to me. And like I said, driving in New Zealand in a camper van, opposite side of the road, mountains, boxy thing that it's not very aerodynamic, definitely was way worse than trying to drive in Italy. So that's the best I got. The valedictorian who spoke at my daughter's graduation was from New Jersey, and she said one of the things she learned was how to pump gas. Yeah. So where was she? Where did she learn? Since she was from New Jersey. I'm curious. 'Cause yeah, I'm pretty sure it's illegal, right? The thing is, in Italy, they also pump your gas. I had found out online that apparently, like, it's normal for them to pump your gas. And I'm not sure how true that is, because there's actually a lot of self-service stations. But I was so frustrated. This is a very useful tip for anybody. I have no idea where that is. Sorry, Erin, is that, I don't know what that is. Is it the Southern University of New York? Does that make sense? I'm making up things. I have no clue. What is that? I'm from Ohio. These words mean nothing to me. I'm making things up based on the acronym. If anybody does watch this far in the live, I know I've just been like babbling at this point, but if any of these people do end up going to Italy and they pump your gas, this is a very important detail that I'm about to share. So, you can't pump your own gas in New Jersey. Here in New York, it's only self-serve. Yeah, it's only self-serve in Ohio too. State University. Okay. I was super close. So, okay, back to the Italy thing. So, if you are like me and you have foreign cards, no matter, I have so many travel cards, like I travel enough that I've got this figured out, right? But I never rent vehicles. I never drive, really, except for New Zealand. I didn't really have a choice. In China, there was no way. I biked, but I was not going to drive there. And in Europe, there's such good public transportation that it's not an issue. But due to the nature of the job that I had while I was there, I was given a vehicle, and I had to learn, obviously, the gas situation as we're talking about. And when I was trying to pay for gas at the self-service, thinking, hey, I read online that you have to have somebody pump your gas. And then I found out you don't have to. And I found out that the supervisor that was there before me apparently, was able to pay for her own gas and do self-service. No, I was wrong. I couldn't. I tried all of my different travel cards. I tried everything I could think of, and I was not able to get my own gas. So I had to keep going to the servizio where they pump your gas for you. And they have like a regular credit card reader or debit card reader, just a card reader, with the tap. And so I was able to use my cards like that, no problem. But they told me that they don't take foreign cards in the self-service machine. So I gave up trying because I was informed by them that my cards wouldn't work. And I tried at a bunch of different places prior to that. And I tried all of my different cards. I tried a Discover card. I tried a MasterCard. I tried an American Express. I tried Visa. Like, I tried everything. And none of them worked. So I was just like, well, I guess this isn't going to work for me. So I have to go to the servizio and have them pump my gas every day. And I'm probably going to repeat this on the next live stream when I tell the full story of like the car issue. But this is my big tip, because I didn't find this out literally until my last day in Italy when it was no longer helpful. So if you need to go to the self-service, because there are limited hours for the servizio and they don't always have somebody there to pump your gas for you, if you need to use the self-service and your foreign cards aren't working, use your phone. If you have your like wallet set up on your phone so that you can just tap, for whatever reason, on the self-service pumps and the cash machine, you can tap your card all you want and it won't work. But if you tap your phone for the same card, it will work. Something with the technology and how it registers, it will accept those. Had somebody told me to just use my phone during the first week, I would have avoided so many problems, and especially the big story that I'm going to share during my next live stream. I wish that I had known that I could have just used my phone, because I was so stressed out and on the verge of a mental breakdown, until my car actually broke down in the story I'm going to tell on my next one. But yeah, use your phone. Pro tip. All right, so Erin, you're halfway between New York. Okay. Fun. Okay, your brother is going to Italy in August. Yes, okay, yes, definitely pass it along. Make sure he's got his card set up on his wallet. And then, of course, travel notifications so your bank knows that you're abroad. But yeah, if he's going to be driving, this is very, very good information. You can also message me if you want more details on that, because it was quite a fiasco. But yeah, okay, that is everything that I have for today. I actually really like the way that this turned out, and it's been fun getting back on this live and just, I don't know, babbling. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate all of you beautiful people who have tuned in, and for anybody who watches this again later. Looking forward to the next one, which is going to be on the 12th, and then again on, I think it's the 15th, should be a Sunday. So Thursday and Sunday. Oh, I've got a calendar right here. Yes, Thursday the 12th and Sunday the 15th. Both at the same time as this, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And yes, the next one will be my weekly setup, and the one after that will be my daily setup. And I needed this. This was really nice. Thank you, Erin. I'm glad this is better than doom scrolling. I've been having a really hard time, just when I was in Italy, it was easier for me to separate myself from a lot of what's going on, and I still hurt. I was still emotional. I still felt bad about a lot of what's going on in the United States, but I underestimated how hard I've been home for 5 days, how hard these 5 days would be, just consuming the news and knowing what's going on. Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. So on that note, now that I've brought the room down, I'm going to go, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. I love you all. Bye.